The spotlight hit me like a freight train, my heart slamming against my ribs as the moderator called my name for the rebuttal. I stepped to the podium, words already firing from my lips, sharp and unyielding, tearing into my opponent's argument like it was tissue paper. But then I saw him, Jordan Hale, across the stage, his eyes locking onto mine not with the fire of competition, but something deeper, ancient, like he'd been waiting for me in the wings of some forgotten dream. That look unraveled me. For a split second, the auditorium full of 500 high school debaters, judges, and parents from across the country faded to static. Jordan wasn't just my rival in this National Forensics Championship in Chicago. He was a puzzle I'd somehow already solved without knowing the pieces. I finished my rebuttal on autopilot, scoring a near-perfect round, but victory tasted hollow because all I could think about was how his gaze had whispered secrets I wasn't ready to hear. Backstage, the air hummed with post-round chatter, kids high-fiving, coaches scribbling notes, the faint scent of coffee from the green room mixing with nervous sweat. I grabbed a water bottle, twisting the cap too hard, when a shadow fell over me. "Nice work out there, Alex," Jordan said, his voice low and steady, like the rumble of a distant storm. He was taller than I'd realized from the stage, broad-shouldered in his crisp navy blazer, blonde hair falling just so over his forehead. Up close, his eyes were that impossible hazel, flecked with green, and they held the same weight they'd carried during the debate. "Thanks," I replied, forcing a grin to mask the way my pulse skipped. "You weren't half bad yourself. That pivot on economic policy? Sneaky." We both laughed, but it was awkward, charged, like we were dancing around an invisible line. Jordan was from some small town in Ohio, conservative heartland. I'd bet my debate binder on it. His prep materials had screamed traditional values, family first, fiscal responsibility, no room for the gray areas where I lived. Me? San Francisco born and raised, out since 14, with two dads who taught me that love didn't come with footnotes. We were oil and water, or so I'd thought until that look. He shifted his weight, glancing at the cluster of his teammates nearby. "Listen, a few of us are grabbing pizza later. Neutral ground, no shop talk. You in?" It was casual, but his fingers drummed against his thigh, betraying the nerves. I hesitated. Alliances in debate could turn cutthroat fast, but something in his invitation felt like an olive branch from that other life. "Yeah, why not? As long as you're buying." The pizza joint was a dive off Michigan Avenue, neon signs buzzing in the December chill, the kind of place where the cheese stretched like taffy and the booths were scarred from 1,000 teenage heartbreaks. Jordan slid in across from me, his knee brushing mine under the table before he jerked it away like he'd been burned. "Sorry," he muttered, but his cheeks flushed pink under the red-checkered tablecloth. We talked circuits, past tournaments, the time I'd bombed a cross-exam in Atlanta, and it flowed easy, like we'd been trading stories for years. His laugh was rare, a quick bark that lit up his face, and every time our eyes met, that pull tugged harder. Then Mia, his best friend from the team, plopped down next to him, her dark curls bouncing as she elbowed Jordan playfully. "Who's this?" "The enemy." She was all energy, a queer girl from New York with a rainbow pin on her backpack, and she sized me up with a wink. "Alex Rivera, forensics phenom, Jordan's new arch-nemesis." He rolled his eyes, but there was affection there, the kind that spoke of late-night cram sessions and shared secrets. Mia grilled me on my strategy, and soon we were all laughing over horror stories of judges with vendettas. As the night wore on, the group thinned, but Jordan lingered, walking me back to my hotel in the crisp wind off Lake Michigan. Snow flurries danced under the streetlights, and he shoved his hands deep in his pockets. "You're not what I expected," he said finally, breath fogging the air. "From the Bay Area? I figured you'd be. I don't know, more flashy." I chuckled, but it stung a little, the assumption that my queerness made me a caricature. "And you?" "Small-town boy with the killer closing statement. Thought you'd quote Reagan or something." He stopped under a lamppost, the light haloing his hair like a halo he didn't deserve. "It's not that simple, Holmes. Complicated." His voice dipped, and for a heartbeat, I saw the crack in his armor, a flicker of something raw, unspoken. Before I could press, he clapped my shoulder, the touch lingering a beat too long. "See you in semis, Rivera. Don't hold back." And then he was gone, melting into the night, leaving me with the ghost of his warmth and a question mark where my certainty used to be. Semis hit like a whirlwind. We drawn against each other again, the brackets rigged by fate or some cruel algorithm. The room was packed, tension thick as humidity before a storm. I argued for progressive reforms on LGBTQ rights in education, my voice steady, drawing from my own life. The taunts in middle school, the ally assemblies that changed everything. Jordan countered with data on parental rights, his delivery flawless, but I caught the hesitation in his eyes when our topics overlapped. He glanced at me once, mid-sentence, and faltered, just a half second, but enough to throw his rhythm. I won by a hair, the judge's decision echoing like a gavel. Applause thundered, but as I stepped off stage, Jordan was there, extending his hand. "Fair fight," he said, grip firm, but his thumb brushed my knuckles in a way that sent sparks up my arm. "You earned it." Up close, sweat beaded on his brow, and his cologne, something woodsy and clean, mixed with the adrenaline. "Drinks to drown the sorrow?" I teased, half joking. His smile was wry. "Only if it's coffee. Early flight tomorrow if I flame out." We ended up in the hotel lobby, nursing vending machine lattes under the hum of fluorescent lights. The conversation veered personal fast, his little sister with her soccer dreams, my dad's anniversary trip to Paris. "They sound solid," he said, envy threading his tone. "My folks, Dad's a pastor. Expects a lot." The word hung heavy, and I nodded, reading between the lines. Conservatism wasn't just politics for him, it was chains. Must be tough, navigating that. He shrugged, but his eyes said otherwise. "You get used to it. Or you don't." By the time we parted, the sun was creeping up, painting the skyline pink. "This isn't over," I said, meaning the tournament, but it came out loaded. Jordan paused at the elevator, that look again, knowing, yearning. "No," he agreed softly. "It really isn't." Finals blurred by in a haze of preparation. I advanced, Jordan didn't, but he was there in the front row, clapping louder than anyone when I clinched the national title. The trophy was heavy in my hands, gold-plated glory, but the real weight was his text later. "Congrats, champ. Owe you that pizza next time I'm in SF." My thumbs hovered over a reply, settling on, "Anytime." Doors open. Summer stretched lazy and golden after that. I interned at a queer youth advocacy group in the Castro. Days filled with workshops and pride prep, nights scrolling Jordan's sparse socials. Debate clips, family pics where he smiled too tight. He posted about church youth group, cryptic quotes on faith and doubt. I wondered if he thought of me half as much as I did him. Then, August heat wave, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. "Hey, it's Jordan. In town for a college tour. Coffee." My heart did a victory lap. We met at a spot in the Mission, murals splashing color on stucco walls, the air thick with churros and exhaust. He looked different out of uniform. Faded jeans, a band tee peeking from his Henley, like the boy next door who'd wandered into my orbit. "UC Berkeley's on my list," he explained, stirring his iced Americano. "Your turf." We wandered Haight Street, thrift shops and street performers, talking everything and nothing. He asked about my coming out, hungry for details, and I laid it bare. The fear, the relief, the way my dad's hugged me like I'd won the lottery. Jordan listened, chin propped on his hand, and when I finished, he said, "I envy that freedom." The vulnerability cracked open then, a sliver. "What about you? Anyone know the real Jordan Hale?" He toyed with a vintage pin on his backpack, a faded American flag. "Not yet. Maybe someday." Our shoulders brushed as we walked, and neither pulled away. By sunset, we were on a bench in Golden Gate Park, watching joggers blur past. "This place," he murmured, "it's alive. Like it breathes different." I bumped his arm. "Stick around. See what else it exhales." His laugh was soft, and when our eyes met, the air crackled. He leaned in. Or did I? But a group of rowdy tourists shattered it, and the moment slipped. He left the next day, but texts bridged the miles. Late-night rants about syllabus hell, memes about debate fails, a photo of his sister's first goal with caption, "Wish you could see this." I sent back pride flag edits, testing waters. He engaged, heart emojis creeping in, but always that careful distance. Fall semester hit, and Jordan committed to Berkeley. Fate's cruel joke or gift, I couldn't decide. Orientation week, I spotted him in the quad, lugging boxes, sweatshirt sleeves rolled up. Need a hand, Ohio? He grinned, relief flooding his face. Thought you'd ghosted me. We hauled his stuff to the dorms, bantering like old times, but now it was laced with possibility. His roommate, a lanky theater kid named Theo, clocked the vibe immediately. You two know each other? Jordan shrugged. Debate enemies. Alex, here's the villain. Theo was queer as a $3 bill, all flair and zero filter, and he dragged us to his first week bash that night. Kegs in a backyard, fairy lights strung like stars, bass thumping from hidden speakers. Jordan stuck close, nursing a beer, eyes wide at the casual queerness. Couples tangled on blankets, rainbow temporary tattoos, a drag queen DJ spinning tracks. This is normal here, he whispered, awed. I nodded, clinking bottles. Welcome to the wild side. We danced, awkward at first, his moves stiff, mine fluid from years of club nights. But bodies found rhythm, hips swaying to the beat. Sweat slicked our skin, and when the song slowed, his hand settled on my waist, tentative. I turned, breath catching at the heat in his gaze. Alex, he started, voice rough, but then Mia appeared, visiting from NYU, all surprise and hugs. Jordan, you didn't say you were slumming it with the competition. The interruption was a mercy and a curse. Mia pulled us into her orbit, shots appearing like magic, stories flying. She and I bonded over shared circuits, but I caught Jordan watching, a shadow crossing his face. Later, as the party thinned, Mia cornered me by the fence. He's into you, dummy. But go slow, he's got baggage heavier than my luggage. I glanced at him, laughing with Theo across the yard. Yeah, I see it. Dating, if that's what it was, unfolded in stolen moments. Study sessions in the library turned to thigh brushes under tables, coffee runs to lingering stares. Jordan opened up in fragments. His dad's sermons on sin, the church youth group where he'd learned to bury questions deep. I prayed it away once. He admitted one rainy afternoon in my apartment, rain pattering the window like impatient fingers. Thought if I believed hard enough. I took his hand, thumb tracing his knuckles. Belief's a choice. So's letting go. Our first kiss happened in November, fog rolling in off the bay like a secret keeper. We'd hiked the headlands, wind whipping our scarves, the city a distant sparkle. At the overlook, Golden Gate Bridge arched like a promise, and Jordan turned to me, hands framing my face. I can't pretend anymore, he breathed, and then his lips were on mine, soft, searching, tasting of salt and certainty. It was fireworks and quiet thunder, the world narrowing to the press of him, the way he sighed into it like surfacing for air. But paradise has pitfalls. Jordan's family visited for Thanksgiving, a whirlwind of Midwestern cheer and veiled judgments. His dad, Pastor Hale, was all booming voice and firm handshakes, eyes scanning my rainbow sticker on the fridge like it was contraband. Alex, right? Jordan speaks highly. The subtext was leaden. Over turkey, talk turned to futures, law school for me, ministry for Jordan, and I felt the noose tighten. That night, as they drove back to the airport, Jordan texted, Dad asked about you. Told him you're a friend. Sorry. The apology lingered like a bruise. I pushed back, gentle but firm. Friends don't kiss like that. His reply, I know, working on it. Winter quarter brought Theo's influence. Mia visiting again, turning our trio into a queer found family. Game nights with charades that dissolved into hysterics. Brunches where Theo dissected campus hookups like a surgeon. Jordan bloomed in it, laughing freer, but cracks showed. He'd flinch at public affection, pull away if hands linked too long on the street. Not ready, he'd murmur, guilt etching his brow. I understood, or tried to. My own closet scars were just faded ink, but patience frayed. The misunderstanding hit like a sucker punch in February. Campus buzzed with the annual Lavender Gala, black tie drag, and dancing under chandeliers. Jordan promised to go as my date, tux and all. But hours before, a text, can't make it. Family emergency. Theo and I went anyway, me in a slim-fit suit, him glittering like a disco ball. Mia was there, fierce in velvet, and we owned the floor, until I saw Jordan's Instagram story. Not an emergency. A church retreat photo, him smiling stiffly with youth group kids, caption, serving where called. Betrayal burned hot. I downed champagne, dragged Theo to the bar. He bailed for Bible study? After everything. Theo squeezed my shoulder. Talk to him. Don't assume. But assumption festered. The next day, confrontation in his dorm. Me storming in, voice cracking. Was it me? Too much, too fast. Jordan's face crumpled. Dad found out about the gala. Threatened to cut me off. I panicked. The pieces clicked. His fear wasn't abstract. It was a blade at his throat. I chose you, he whispered, pulling me close. Every time. Forgiveness came slow, laced with therapy sessions. I dragged him to campus counseling, where he unpacked the shame like old luggage. Spring bloomed tentative, our love a fragile shoot pushing through concrete. Picnics in the Arboretum, where he'd read me poetry, Whitman, Forbidden Fruit, and I'd traced the freckles on his nose, calling them constellations. But prejudice isn't solitary, it spreads. Jordan's sister, Lily, visited in April, all braces and curiosity. She adored me instantly. You're cooler than his lame church friends. But spilled the tea over ice cream. Dad's been preaching harder on the gay agenda. Sermons naming names, veiled threats. Jordan overheard, storming out mid-spoonful. That night, he broke, sobs on my chest, the dam finally cracking. I can't lose them, but I can't lose you. The climax brewed over summer break. Jordan went home, promising calls, but silence stretched. 2 days, 5, a week. Panic clawed me. Texts unread, voicemails dust. Mia flew in, crisis mode. Road trip. We piled into my beat-up Civic, Theo shotgun with maps, barreling east to Ohio. The heartland unspooled, cornfields like green oceans, billboards preaching salvation. We found him at the church picnic, potato salad, and suspicion. Pastor Hale spotted us first, face thunderous. What is this? Jordan emerged from the crowd, eyes wide. Shock, relief, terror. Alex. The family tableau froze. Mom wringing hands, Lily beaming, youth group kids whispering. Mia stepped up, charm offensive. Just passing through. Loved the Midwest hospitality. Theo distracted with dad jokes, but the air crackled. Private, in the parsonage kitchen, Jordan and I faced the storm. You came, he breathed, hugging fierce. But Dad loomed in the doorway. Son, explain. Jordan straightened, hand finding mine. This is Alex. My boyfriend. The word detonated. Silence, then eruption. Accusations flew. Sin, confusion, the devil's work. Mom wept, Lily defended. I stood silent, anchor for him, until Jordan's voice rose, steady as scripture. I love him. God's big enough for that. Exile followed, swift and surgical, tuition yanked, bags packed by dawn. We fled west, Mia and Theo our convoy, the highway a ribbon of redemption. Back in Berkeley, Jordan crashed on my couch, then my bed, rebuilding from ashes. Friendships deepened, Mia plotting grad school visits, Theo scripting a one-act about us. Prejudices lingered in calls from home, but bridges built slow, a letter from Lily, Mom's hesitant email. By fall, Jordan preached his own gospel, Queer Alliance meetings, where his story drew crowds. Our love, once a spark in a spotlight, burned steady now, forged in fire. That look from Chicago? It was homecoming. And in the quiet nights, tangled in sheets, he'd whisper, another life, maybe, but this one's ours. The autumn leaves crunched underfoot as Jordan and I navigated the Berkeley hills, the campus a mosaic of gold and rust below us. It had been 3 months since the Ohio exodus, and he'd settled into a rhythm. Adjunct shifts at a community center, night classes and social work, and mornings tangled with me. Coffee brewing like a ritual. But the scars itched, especially when his phone buzzed with a withheld number. Dad again. I asked one crisp October dawn, handing him a mug etched with a rainbow. He glanced at the screen, thumb hovering before silencing it. Yeah, same sermon, different verse. We'd agreed on boundaries. No full reconciliation until he was ready, but the pull of family was a tide he couldn't outrun. Lily visited bi-monthly, a whirlwind of high school drama and hugs that bridged the gap. Mom's baking your cookies, she'd tease Jordan, eyes twinkling. The ones with this secret ingredient, forgiveness? He'd ruffle her hair, but the joke landed heavy. Mia, ever the strategist, organized found family Fridays. Potlucks where Theo's experimental tacos clashed gloriously with my abuelita's empanadas. Laughter filled the voids, but I saw the shadows in Jordan's smiles, the way he'd zone out mid-conversation, staring at nothing. One Friday, the group expanded unexpectedly. Theo's theater buddy, Sam, a non-binary artist with sleeve tattoos and a voice like velvet, crashed the scene, sketchpad in tow. Heard there's a muse shortage, Sam quipped, eyeing Jordan's profile as he chopped cilantro. The flirtation was subtle at first, compliments on his eyes, a shared playlist of indie folk. Jordan brushed it off, but I caught the flush, the linger. Jealousy wasn't my style. I trusted him like gravity, but doubt whispered. Was I enough, after the wreckage I'd helped unearth? The tension simmered until a cast party for Theo's latest production, a queer retelling of Romeo and Juliet. The warehouse space pulsed with bodies, strobe lights fracturing the air, bass vibrating bones. Jordan stuck to my side, but Sam pulled him into an improv game. Scenes of star-crossed lovers, laughter echoing. I nursed a seltzer in the corner, Mia at my elbow. Spill, she demanded, her New York edge softened by concern. You're brooding like Hamlet. I admitted the unease, the fear that Jordan's newfound freedom might lead him elsewhere. She snorted. Babe, he's all in. Sam's just Sam. Flirty firefly, zero commitment. Still, when Jordan emerged flushed from the game, Sam's hand on his arm a beat too long, I excused myself to the rooftop. City lights sprawled like a promise kept, but my chest tightened. Footsteps followed, Jordan's, tentative. Hey, you okay? He wrapped arms around me from behind, chin on my shoulder. The warmth eased the knot, but words tumbled out. Sam's got that spark. The one I saw in you first. He turned me gently, hazel eyes earnest under the stars. And I chose you. Again. Every damn time. The kiss was reassurance, deep and unhurried, the party noise fading to white. But misunderstandings breed like weeds. The next week, Theo forwarded a group chat screenshot, Sam gushing about that cute blonde from the party, emojis exploding. Innocent, but it landed like shrapnel. Jordan saw it too, over breakfast, and his fork paused midair. This why you've been distant? I hadn't been, had I? But the accusation stung. No, just processing. He pushed his plate away, hurt etching lines around his mouth. After Ohio, after everything, you think I'd? The argument escalated, voices low but sharp, old insecurities clawing up. I came for you. I shot back. Drove across states, remember? He flinched. And now I'm the villain for breathing? We cooled off separately. Me at the gym, him on a run, but reconciliation came via text. Library, 5 p.m.? Neutral ground. We met in the stacks, history section, dust motes dancing in slanted light. Apologies flowed awkward, then honest. I'm scared, he admitted, fingers interlacing mine, of losing you to my mess. I squeezed. We're both messes. That's the glue. Laughter bubbled, sealing it, and we emerged stronger, the incident a reminder. Love's not a straight line. Winter holidays loomed, a minefield. Jordan opted for Berkeley, first Christmas without family, but with us. Mia flew in, Theo hosted, Sam even toned it down, bringing gingerbread constructs instead of chaos. The tree we decorated was a Frankenstein of thrift store ornaments, a drag queen bauble from Theo, rainbow bulbs from me, a wooden cross Jordan hung quietly. Gifts exchanged under twinkling lights. His to me, a leather-bound journal inscribed, "For our story," felt like vows. But prejudice revisited in a voicemail, left while we caroled door to door. Jordan's mom, voice trembling. Your father's had a heart scare. Come home, please. We miss you. The carol faltered, his face paling. I can't, he whispered to the phone, but doubt clouded his eyes. That night, tangled in bed, he confessed fears. Reconciliation on their terms meant erasure. What if I go, and it's the same sermons? I held him close. Then you leave again. With me. The decision crystallized over New Year's. Lily called, mediator mode. Mom's baking. Dad's trying. One dinner. Jordan waited, us weighing with him. Trial run, he decided. You come too. Ohio in January was a frozen tundra, our rental car skidding on ice as we approached the Hale homestead, a white clapboard with a steepled shadow. Pastor Hale greeted stiffly, handshake iron, but Mom enveloped us in hugs scented with cinnamon. Lily chattered, bridge building, and dinner unfolded tentative. Turkey leftovers, prayers laced with less thunder. Talk turned to Jordan's classes, my internship, neutral waters. Then Dad leaned in. Son, we've prayed. About. Choices. The air thinned. Jordan's grip tightened under the table. It's not a choice, Dad. It's me. Silence stretched, then Mom's soft. We love you. Still. It was an absolution, but a crack. Light through stone. We left with pie tins and promises of calls. The drive back east a debrief of what-ifs. Spring semester brought blooms and burdens. Jordan joined the Queer Alliance formally, his testimony at a panel drawing tears and nods. Faith and family don't have to be foes, he said, voice steady. I beamed from the front row, pride swelling. But conflict brewed anew when Sam confessed a crush to Theo, who blabbed accidentally over beers. The revelation hit at a group hike, trail mud sucking at boots, tension thick as fog. Jordan confronted Sam trailhead bound. Back off. I'm taken. Sam's laugh was bitter. Didn't know collared meant caged. The barb hooked deep, echoes of church chains. I intervened, words calm. It's respect, not restriction. Sam apologized, slinking off, but the rift lingered, Theo guilt-ridden. I screwed up. Forgiveness rounds ensued. Hikes turning to hearts, alliances mending. Climax crested in May, finals fever. Jordan's paper on queer theology earned accolades, but a package arrived. Dad's Bible, underlined passages on repentance, note, come back to truth. Rage and grief collided. He hurled it across the room, pages fluttering like wounded birds. Why can't they see? I gathered him, rocking. They might. Someday. That night, we wrote a letter, joint, raw, love unapologetic, boundaries firm. Mailed it, a gauntlet thrown. Summer solstice, we escaped to Big Sur, clifftop cabin, waves crashing like applause. Days blurred. Hikes to hidden coves, nights by firelight sharing dreams. Marry me? He murmured one dawn, ringless but ring true. Laughter, tears, yes. When ready, the horizon stretched infinite, our story unfolding. Rivals to lovers, misunderstandings to milestones, prejudices to possibilities. Yet surprises lingered. Lily's graduation invite arrived, family truce implied. Jordan hesitated, then, we go. Together. The ceremony was a blur of caps and cheers, Dad's nod fractional, but real. Post-ceremony, a quiet talk. Proud of you, son. Not full, but forward. Back west, with friends orbiting tighter, Mia engaged, Theo directing. Our circle solidified. Love, once a look across a stage, now a life. Conflicts conquered, climaxes crested, characters carved deeper. In the quiet, Jordan's gaze still whispered that other life. But this one, we owned it, word by word. The Berkeley summer sun baked the sidewalks into griddles, but our rhythm held steady. Jordan volunteering at the center, me wrapping my advocacy internship, evenings melting into each other on the fire escape, city hum a lullaby. Lily's graduation had been a fragile victory, a toehold on the past, but Jordan carried it like a talisman, his smiles lingering longer. Dad shook your hand, he'd say, wonder lacing his voice. Without the vice grip. I'd tease, progress, from thunderbolt to drizzle. But beneath, the undercurrent pulled, family ties knotted tight, even frayed. Theo's birthday bash shattered the idol. Warehouse rave, bodies a kaleidoscope under blacklights, bass like a second pulse. Sam showed, reformed but radiant, pulling Jordan into a conga line. Laughter flowed, but I caught Mia's side eye across the throng. Old flames flicker, she mouthed half-joke. I waved it off, but the seed planted. Later, buzzed on the rooftop, Jordan swayed with Sam to a slow remix. Innocent, but arms loose, heads close. My stomach twisted. I slipped inside, nursing water at the bar. Confrontation brewed on the walk home, streetlights pooling gold. What's with Sam? I asked, casual as I could muster. Jordan blinked, steps faltering. Dance. That's it. The defensiveness sharpened it. Felt like more. From the outside. He stopped, face shadowed. Jealousy's new on you, Alex. Not cute. The words landed like slaps. Fair, but they stung. I'm protecting us. After everything. He sighed, rubbing temples. Sam's a friend. Like Theo. Trust that. The fight simmered silent. Texts curt over the next days. Mia mediated brunch, her no-nonsense vibe slicing through. Talk it out, idiots. Bottlings for wine, not worries. We did. Over waffles at a diner, grease and honesty mixing. Jordan admitted the pull. Sam's ease, no baggage. But its surface. You're the depth. I confessed the fear, losing him to simpler waters. Tears salted the syrup. Hugs sealed the peace. Team Hail Rivera, he joked, kissing my temple. Undefeated. Autumn winds ushered change. Jordan's social work program ramped. Case studies on marginalized youth hitting close. Echoes of his own hidden years. He'd come home drained, collapsing into rants. These kids, Alex. They're me at 15, praying for erasure. I'd listen, brew tea, hold space. One night, post a particularly gutting seminar, he pulled a flyer from his bag. Q-Spirit Retreat. Queer Faith Camp. Upstate New York. Eyes bright. Wanna go? Reclaim some holy ground. The drive east was a leaf-peeping dream. Hills aflame. Podcasts on theology droning. The retreat center nestled in woods. Cabins rustic, air pine sharp. Sessions blended. Morning meditations on inclusive scripture. Afternoons hiking with queer elders sharing testimonies. Jordan soaked it, questions pouring, on grace, on identity. I watched him unfurl, the boy from Ohio molting into man. Evenings by the fire pit, guitars strumming hymns reimagined. He sang soft, hand in mine. But surprise struck on day 3. A familiar face among facilitators. Pastor Elena, a lesbian minister from Jordan's youth group days, escaped to seminary. Jordan Hale, she gasped, hug fierce. Stories spilled over Mores. Her own closet odyssey. The church split that freed her. Your dad's sermons? They push me out. But look, I'm preaching now. Jordan's awe was palpable, a mirror held to possibility. Could he change? Elena's smile was kind steel. People do, when love leads. The revelation rippled homeward. Jordan called his dad that week, voice steady. Met someone from the old group. She's thriving. Faith and all. Pause, then gruff. Good for her. Not endorsement, but opening. Mom followed with cookies, shipped, with a note. Proud of your path. Small steps, but seismic. Winter wrapped us cozy, holidays hybrid. Berkeley bash with the crew, then a quick Ohio flyby. Dad's handshake held, dinner prayers inclusive tinged. Lily gifted matching scarves. For your adventures, winking. Back west, snow dusting the bay, Jordan proposed formally. Rings simple, silver with etched infinity. This life, all of it. Kneeling in our kitchen, flour dusted from holiday baking. I said yes, tears blurring his grin. But conflict crested unbidden. Spring brought a guest lecturer to Jordan's program. Dr. Harlan, firebrand conservative on traditional family values. The debate was mandatory, room electric. Harlan's slides hammered, stats twisted, anecdotes of recovered queers. Jordan's hand shook under the desk, mine anchoring. Post-class, he unloaded in the cafe. That poison, it's what choked me. Rage fueled action. He penned an op-ed for the campus paper, Faith Without Fear, exposing the harm, calling for dialogue. Publication day, backlash brewed. Anonymous emails flooded, slurs, threats. One stood out. From a concerned alumnus, CTNG Pastor Hale. Jordan's phone rang that night. Dad, voice cracked. Saw the piece. Stirring the pot, son. Hurt-laced accusation. Truth isn't a pot, Dad. It's a fire. The call ended abrupt, silence deafening. Jordan paced, storming. Why fight when it wounds them? I pulled him down. Because silence wounds you more. The fallout fractured further when Harlan's response hit the paper. Misguided youth, seeking validation in deviance. Jordan's name dragged, our address doxed in comments. Fear coiled, patrols passed our door, changed locks. Mia rallied, counter-protest. Theo designed posters, Sam sketched solidarity art. The rally drew hundreds, Queer Alliance marching, chants echoing. Jordan spoke, voice amplified. Love isn't deviance. It's divine. Applause thundered, but in the crowd, a familiar face. Lily, flown in secret. Brought reinforcements, she grinned, hugging fierce. Climax unfolded at homecoming weekend. Dad arrived unannounced, hotel key in hand, pie carrier as peace offering. We sat in the living room, tension thick as fog. Read your words, he started, eyes down. Stirred something. Confession trickled, his own doubts, a mentor's hypocrisy exposed. I've been wrong. Praying wrong. Not full apology, but fracture mended. Hugs awkward, but real. Mom joined via video, tears shared. Families bigger than doctrine. Surprises sweeten the afterglow. Theo's play premiered. Our story, thinly veiled, standing ovation, Jordan's tears proud. Sam found love elsewhere, friendship purified. Mia's wedding invite. Best men, dual honor. By summer's end, wedding plans whispered, small, coastal, friends as family. Jordan's gaze, once a stage-side spark, now daily dawn, knowing, eternal. Conflicts ceded to calm, prejudices to progress, our narrative a tapestry, woven tight, colors bold. The wedding planning unfolded like a well-rehearsed debate. Pros and cons lists on the fridge, vetoes over cake flavors. Mia as officiant with theatrical flair. Jordan thrived in the details, vows drafted on napkins, playlists curated with our first dance indie track. No cold feet. He'd quip, toes wiggling against mine in bed. But under the buzz, old ghosts stirred. A church newsletter arrived, Dad's byline. Bridging divides, subtle nod to Jordan, but laced with caveats on biblical love. He crumpled it, jaw tight. Half steps. Always. I smoothed it out later, reading between lines. Progress. Painful. He's trying. I said over breakfast. Jordan nodded, but doubt dimmed his eyes. Trying's not enough if it's conditional. The conversation veered to honeymoons. Big Sur Redux, or Europe? Laughter lightened it, but the underbelly ached. Family's shadow long. Theo's influence amplified the joy. His theater troupe cast us as extras in a queer history epic, silent lovers in a 1950s speakeasy scene. Rehearsals were chaos. Corsets and fedoras, ad-libs flying. Sam directed lighting, redeemed fully, his quips now team fuel. Spotlight on the Hale Rivera glow-up. He'd call, gels shifting hues. Jordan hammed it, loosening in the limelight. But one night, post-run-through, he confided. It's freedom. Wish Dad could see. Surprise guest at the next rehearsal, Elena from the retreat, in town for a conference. Heard about the nuptials, she beamed, pulling Jordan into strategy session. Inclusive vows? Let's craft. Her input wove theology and tenderness, scriptures reinterpreted. Jordan's gratitude shone. A call to Dad followed, sharing snippets. It's us, not against you. Gruff reply. Send the text. Baby steps, but bounding. Autumn deepened, leaves a carpet of caution. Campus stirred with election fever, ballots heavy on rights rollbacks. Jordan's alliance hosted forums, him moderating with quiet command. One panel, a conservative student echoed Harlan's venom. Choice over chaos. The room bristled. Jordan countered calm. Loves no chaos. It's clarity. Applause rippled, but post-event, the student cornered him. Apology awkward, eyes earnest. Struggling. Like you did. Jordan's nod opened floodgates. Shared coffee, stories swapped. Mentorship bloomed, Jordan guiding where once guided. But misunderstanding menaced in November rain. Mia's bachelorette. Hers, but we crashed as honorary hens, devolved into truth or dare debauchery. Tequila shots, confessions spilling. Theo dared Jordan. Biggest regret? Pause heavy. Hiding. From Alex, from me. The circle odd, but my phone buzzed mid-laugh. Unknown. Photo of Jordan and the conservative student, arms slung casual at a cafe. Caption, new flame. Anonymous poison, Harlan's echo. Jealousy flared irrational. I pocketed the phone, but it festered. Confrontation hit hungover, kitchen accusatory. Who's that? Jordan blinked at the pic. Evan, from the panel. Helping him out. Innocence rang true, but hurt hooked. Looks cozy. After Sam's dance. He recoiled. Patterns? Really? The fight fractured fast, voices rising, doors slamming. I can't keep proving, he yelled. I stormed to the couch, regret instant. Mia mediated dawn patrol, coffee for. Poison pens thrive on silence. We talked it through, me owning insecurity, him frustration. Evan straight, confused. Like I was. Laughter cracked the ice. Your type, apparently. Hugs healed, but resolve hardened. Block the sender, report to campus security. Turns out, Harlan's TA fired swift, karma's curveball. Winter holidays hybrid again. Ohio first, then Berkeley blowout. Dad's welcome warmer. Hand on Jordan's shoulder. Missed you, son. Dinner prayers personal. For bridges built. Lily toasted. To love that lasts. Back west, the cruise eve. Fireworks legal. Theo's pyrotechnics perilous. Jordan pulled me aside mid-sparkle. This year's been us. Kiss under booms. Promise sealed. Spring surged with rehearsals ramped. Our scenes stealing hearts. Premiere night. House packed. Elena front row. Lily live streaming home. Dad watched too. Virtual. Tears admitted later. Proud. The word, unprompted, unlocked floods. Post-show party. Jordan danced free. Me twirling him. Spotlights ours. Climax brewed in June heat. Wedding week. Coastal venue abloom. Cliffs crashing. Tints white as surrender. Rehearsal dinner. Family fusion. Hales mingling with Riveras. My dad's grilling dad on sermons. Laughter bridged gaps. But eve of. Jordan panicked. Porch vigil. Waves witness. What if it's not enough? For them, for us. I knelt. Ring box open. It's everything. Vows exchanged, dawn kissed. In rivalry and rest, I choose you. Ceremony sunset glow. Mia's words poetic. Theo ring bearer flamboyant. Sam photographer capturing candor. Vows echoed. Jordan's. From stage to soul, you saw me. Mine, your look was home. Ring slid. Kiss sealed. Cheers crashing like surf. Reception reveled. Dances wild. Cakes cut. Lily's speech slaying. Dad's toast tentative. Love. Expands. Progress personified. Honeymoon haze. Big Sur bliss. Trails trod. Stars scripting futures. Surprises post-vow. Elena's job offer. Queer chaplaincy. Jordan tempted. Build what broke me. Acceptance followed. New chapter. Mia's marriage mirrored ours. Found family fierce. Theo's Tony dreams. Sam's gallery show. Years layered. Conflicts seeded to constancy. Kids. Adopted duo. Lily's echoes. Prejudices. Dad's church evolves. Inclusive aisles. Our story, once hook sharp, now epic. Love's drama. Unending act. The first year of marriage unfolded like a well-loved novel. Familiar chapters with fresh twists. Our apartment traded for a craftsman bungalow in the Oakland Hills. Backyard herb garden. Jordan tended like prayers. His chaplaincy role bloomed. Weekly circles for queer faithful. Testimonies traded like treasures. It's mending. He'd say evenings. Feet in my lap. Wineglass tilting. I'd nod. But note the wear. Nights he'd wake. Sheets twisted. Murmuring scripture scraps. Old habits he'd dismiss. But I saw the toll. Theo's orbit tightened. His off-Broadway run demanded understudies. Us roped in for lines. Rehearsals reignited our spark. Stolen kisses backstage. Ad-libs laced with inside jokes. Sam collaborated sets. His redemption arc complete. You too? Muse material. Mia, settled in Brooklyn with her wife, visited quarterly. Brunch debriefs on life leaps. Kids next? She'd prod. I scheming. Jordan's laugh. Someday. When the stars align. Surprise stellar. Lily's engagement. Whirlwind to a barista with a poet's soul. Queer as folk. She texted. Rainbow confetti emoji. Jordan flew solo for the proposal dinner. Ohio thawing further. Dad co-hosting. Return tales glowed. He quoted Corinthians. The love chapter. But subtext simmered. Asked about grandkids. Subtly, I squeezed his hand. Our timeline. Autumn brought Alliance anniversary. Gala redux. Jordan keynoting. Prep consumed. Speech drafts. Nerves jangling. One draft night. Doubt deluged. What if they hear judgment, not grace? I proofed beside him. Edits gentle. They'll hear you. Truth teller. The night dazzled. Venue aglow. Crowd wrapped. His words wove personal to universal. Faith isn't fence. It's field. Standing ovation. Elena's hug. Pulpit prodigy. But conflict coiled in December frost. A congregant, fresh out, confessed crisis. Family ultimatum. Echoes of Jordan's. Counseling stretched late. Homecomings hollow-eyed. It's me, reliving, he admitted, fire crackling. I brewed cocoa, anchored. You're the guide now. Stronger. Sessions deepened bond. Role reversal. Me supporting his savior complex. Misunderstanding mischief. Holiday card from dad. Photo formal. Inscription. Blessings on your union. But enclosed clipping. Article on reparative therapy success stories. Venom veiled. Jordan's face fell, crumpling it. Progress. Or ploy. I scanned, stomach sour. Test. See where we bend. Call ensued. Measured. Mom mediating. He clips everything. Means well. Apology followed. Dad's voice sheepish. Overstep. Love you both. Bridge buttressed, but wariness waned slow. Winter waned to spring showers. Fertility forums filling our calendar. Consults candid. Adoption paths. Foster firsts. 2. Boy and girl. Jordan mused. Brochures splayed. I laughed. Or envy wildcards. Agency visits heart-tugged. Profiles poignant. Matches elusive. Patience preached, but pangs pulled. Climax crested in April bloom. Emergency foster call. Siblings, ages 5 and 8. Boy with Jordan's Hazel, girl firecracker like Lily. Trial week. Chaos charming. Toys strewn. Bedtime battles. Breakfast negotiations. Dad duty suits. I whispered nights. Kids slumbering. Jordan's grin. Family forged. But prejudice pierced. School pickup. Biomom's kin lurking. Glares sharp. Whispers slicing. Not real parents. Jordan's jaw clenched. My hand steadied. Home debrief. Hates loud. Love louder. Agency assured. Protections in place. Still, nights Jordan paced. What if they take them? Hugs hushed, but resolve rallied. Legal consults. Community cocoon. Surprise softened the storm. Dad's visit announced. Grandpa trial. Arrival awkward. Airport hug stiff, but kids thawed him. Boys truck obsession. Girls story demands. Dinner devolved delightful. Dad reading Dr. Seuss. Laughter loosening. Bedtime, he confided. Seeing you. Fathers. It's right. Tears traced. Full circle. Summer solstice. Permanency hearing. Gavel greenlight. Adoption day dawned. Courthouse casual. Crew crammed. Mia, matron of honor vibe. Theo tickle monster. Sam snapshots. Vows vowed anew. Family, fierce and forever. Rings resized tiny. Cake courthouse smuggled. Post-adopt haze. Park picnics. Preschool hunts. Lily's wedding wove in. Ohio orchard. Us best men tandem. Dad officiated. Inclusive inflection. Love multiplies. Toasts toasted ties rebound. Years yielded yields. Kids kindergarten bound. Jordan's book birthed. Grace unbound. Theo's Broadway break. Mia's mayoral bid. Prejudices? Faded footnotes. Dad's church ally affirmed. Our saga, sparked stage side, sustained. Emotions excavated. Tensions transcended. Characters culminated. Love's long arc, eternally ours. The bungalow buzzed with boyhood energy. Little Elias zooming trucks across floors. Sophia scripting puppet shows with fierce directorial flair. Jordan's book tour launched modest. Local readings, then coasts conquered. Grace Unbound resonated. Reviews raving. A chaplain's clarion call. Nights post panels. He'd collapse. Kids clamoring. Daddy's famous? Laughter litigated exhaustion. Just loud. Theo's Broadway bow beckoned. Queer Quixote. Us front row funders. Rehearsal glimpses. His tilt at windmills. Queered. Opening ovation owned. Standing. Sobs shared. After party afterglow. Sam schmoozing scouts. Mia mic dropping toasts. Jordan pulled me alcove. This, our circle. Unbreakable. Lily's twins arrived autumnal. Named Alex and Joe. Nods nested. Ohio visits vivified. Dad doting. Grandkids glue. For now, he'd beam. Cookie crumbs evidence. Sermons softened. Guest spots ours. Jordan preaching. Me anecdotes adding. But conflict coursed covert. Elias's preschool parent night. Teacher tentative. Some parents. Questions on your family. Whispers from Harlan holdouts. Relocated. Jordan's calm cracked. Not again. Home huddle. We shield, but show strength. Letters to admin. Alliance allies amplified. Policy pivots followed. Inclusivity inked. Misunderstanding minor. Sophia's school play. Cinderella. Her as prince. Rehearsal run. Jordan directing dad style. Boulder bow. Bio grandma visiting quipped. Traditionally, the girl. Erased. I intervened light. Our fairy tale, our twists. Apology aired, but chat chafed. Kids confuse norms. Jordan's retort rooted. Norms evolve. Love leads. Resolution rippled. Grandma's growth. Play premiering proud. Sophia slaying. Applause affirming. Dad attended. Post-show praise. Brave boy. Prince. Winter wove wonders. Holiday hybrid peaked. Ohio Berkeley blur. Flights festive. Kids caroled chaos. Elias's off-key charm conquering. Dad's gift. Family Bible. Margins inclusive notes. For the next gen, he murmured. Jordan's hug held history. Spring sparked sabbatical. Jordan's grant. Queer faith fellowship in Taos. Art and soul. He pitched. Adobe awaits. We caravanned. Kids car-seated. Playlists piping. Desert dawn hikes. Sophia sketching sunrises. Elias rock hunting. Evenings easel-bound. Jordan journaling. This, recharge. Surprise, serendipitous. Elena encountered. Fellowship faculty. Cosmic, she crowed, co-leading circles. Testimonies traded. Congregants conversions, doubts dissolved. One elder echoed Dad. Late bloomer. Your book's beacon. Climax crested canyon close. Storm surged. Flash flood warning, arroyo angry. Cabin cozied, but power plunged, thunder tolling. Kids huddled, flashlight fables from Jordan. Brave brothers and sisters, stormside. Elias whimpered, scary. Sophia sassed, nah adventure. Midnight, rain relented, stars stunned. Jordan's arm anchor, we weather. Return refreshed, book sequel seated, kids kindergarten kicking. Mia's mayoral win hooped, inauguration invite, us entourage. Speech soared, equities echo, from streets to seats. Toasts toasted trajectories. Summer symphonied. Beach bonfires. Theo's tour tie-in. Cast crashing cove. Sam sculpted sandcastles surreal. Lily's fam frolicking. Dad dialed in. Virtual volleyball victor. Years yonder. Elias's debate debut. Jordan coaching. Me judging jitters. Sophia's stage siren call. Theo tutoring. Prejudices? Past prologue. Dad's diocese diverse. Our odyssey. Hook hung. Harmony hymned. Love's layered. Friendships fortified. Misunderstandings myth. Biases banished. That gaze? Genesis to grace. Lives linked. Legacies launched.